Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Coach Matt, EliteThrowsCoaching.com, and before I get started with you today about the video, I wanted to make a big announcement that we are going to be doing a preseason winter coaches clinic here at the gym at Primal Athlete Training Center in Cranston, Rhode Island. It's going to be in November, so right before the indoor track season begins, and it's going to be for throws coaches of all levels to come on in here, brush up on your training, brush up on your form and technique work and your drills. It's going to come with a lot of other information as well. Make sure to click the link right above. This is going to take you to sign up to our newsletter. Newsletter people are going to get the first announcement of when the registration becomes available at an early bird discount. So click that link that just popped up, sign up for our newsletter, and then you will be hearing from me in about a week with all of the details and to get signed up for the coaching clinic. All right, so as you can tell from the title of this video, the video today is really going out to all of those soon-to-be brand new throws coaches, or to everyone out there who's thinking about becoming a throws coach this year. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, it's a little early in the year. It's early September if you check the date of this video. It's early September. School literally just started a couple days ago. Why are we doing a video talking about becoming a throws coach when that's a couple months away? And the answer to that is because this is normally when a lot of athletic directors and a lot of head track and field coaches are going to be searching for a throws coach. And this is also when those potential coaches, people that have been kind of thinking about coaching for a few years, they've kind of put it on the back burner. Maybe they've been trying to figure out they have time. Maybe they have one of their own children who's going to start throwing this year. And they're wondering to themselves, is it worth it? Is it something I can do? Is it something that makes sense? I've never done it before. What all goes into it? Is this even doable? Is it even possible for me to be a throws coach? Okay, so the big overall answer to this entire video is yes. If you have the opportunity to be a throws coach, if you have the time to be a throws coach, if it fits your schedule, if it fits your lifestyle and you want to become a throws coach, then become a throws coach. There is no better job, in my opinion, than being a coach of middle school, high school, and college athletes. You are literally helping to shape this person's life. You are literally helping to shape this athlete's life. You're being a positive influence on their life. You're being a father figure or a mother figure, a parental figure in their life. You are helping to guide them along in their journey of being a member of society and a functioning human being. There is nothing better than that, in my opinion. Nothing feels better than that. When you get that hug from one of your athletes when they're going away to college, when they're having a tough time at school or they're having a tough time at home, and they come to you and they start talking and you can give them advice and they open up to you, there is nothing better than that because you are helping them to be the best that they can be. I really don't think anyone is going to argue that with me. Being a coach is such a great job. I don't even like using that term. It's such a great thing because you get to help so many people. It's not just scholarships. It's not just championships. It's not just trophies. It's actually helping to take this person and help them to become better in their overall life. You cannot put a price on that. But at the same time, you have to make sure that it fits you and that it fits sort of what you have lined up in your own life. So here's a checklist of things that I think you need to go through to make sure that, number one, coaching is going to be a good thing for you, but number two, to make sure that you're going to be able to commit as much as you need to commit and give as much time as you can give to your athletes who are going to be counting on you. All right, so first things first, we already kind of talked about it, but it's going to be time and your schedule. You have to make sure that you have the time to give to your team and to your athletes. So what kind of time are we talking about? Well, normally I would say about 3 hours per day for practice. Now that's not just 3 hours of practice, obviously, but even if it's 2 hours of practice every day, you also have your commute time to the school, your commute time home, any setup time, any extra meetings that you might have with the head coach or with your athletic director, little things that pop up throughout the year, you're looking at about an average of 3 hours per day. In addition, the thing that you have to think about is that you're going to be practicing after school. So what time does the school that you're thinking about working at, or the school that reached out to you, what time are the kids done with class? If they're done at, say, 2 o'clock and practice starts at 2:30, and you don't get out of work until 4 o'clock every day, it's probably not going to work out for you. But if it's something where, say, you work a job and you get out of work at 3 and they start practice at 3:30 every day, then that might actually work out pretty well. But you have to make sure that everything lines up time-wise in order for you to commit the most amount of energy and the most amount of time to your students and to your team. Okay, so the other thing that we need to talk about is teams and schedule. So how many teams are you going to be coaching, and what's the schedule? Now you might be thinking, well, I'm going to be a track coach for the track team, but that's not all of it. Because if there is, for example, a huge school that you're going to be coaching and they have, say, a freshman track and field team that goes to freshman track meets. That is a thing around the country. Might not be in your area, but we certainly have them in our area and other bigger areas. There are JV meets that happen, and then there are varsity meets that happen. So you may actually be coaching 3 teams: the freshman team, the JV team, and the varsity team. Now, they all might practice at the same time after school, but they might have 3 different meets throughout the week. Now, what if you're the boys coach and the girls coach? Now, if boys and girls don't compete together at the same meets, you're going to have to add another couple of hours, at least a few times a week, to go and attend these meets and watch your athletes actually compete. So that's the other thing that you have to think about with time, is not just the time after school at practice, but the time during the week and the time on the weekends when you're going to be going to these track meets to help out your athletes. Now look, kind of truth be told, I'm not saying this to try to scare you out of coaching, but this is the main reason, and I'm just being honest here. I've always been honest and truthful with you guys. This is the main reason why you don't see a lot of people in their late 30s, early 40s, professional kind of business people who are coaches. You see a lot of younger, fresh out of college faces that might have the time to coach, and you have a lot of older, retired kind of age people that have the time to coach, but you don't see a lot of people who are like my age, like late 30s, early 40s, working 40 hours a week at another job, minimum 40 hours a week at another job, with a family and with children at home, that are able to commit the time and able to coach at a local school. It just does not happen. There's just physically, literally not enough hours in the day to do something like that. I mean, being here at the gym, my hours, we open up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when our first athlete session starts, and I'm here till about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. When I was working at MF Athletic, at everything track and field, from 22 to 29 years old, we got to work at, started work at 8:30 in the morning, and we didn't leave until, 5:30, 5:45 at night. So I had a lot of high school parents and kids that were coming in the office to buy like shot puts and shoes and discuses and all that stuff, that were like, "Hey, why don't you come coach at my son's school?" Well, I'm here till 5:45 every night. Does your kid want to have practice at 6 o'clock every night? Nope, that's not going to happen. School's not going to allow that. What about on the weekends? Well, I mean, Sundays, Saturdays, you got track meets, and Sundays are, busy for a lot of people because of family obligations and church and all that stuff. So I just could not do it. I have never had the opportunity or the time to go and coach at a high school or to go and coach at a college. It just does not fit me. Now, when I'm older, will it fit? Absolutely, it quite possibly could. When I first got out of college as a 22-year-old, would it have fit? Absolutely, that definitely would have fit. I have a lot of friends who were police officers that coach, and they're able to coach because of the shifts that they do at their police department. So if they work third shift, where they're going into work at, say, 11 o'clock at night, and they work till 7 o'clock in the morning, they have opportunity every afternoon and on the weekends to go and coach. So they volunteer, they coach, and they coach at a lot of local schools for all different sports. But it really has to fit your schedule, and you have to make sure that you are able to do it. Did you guys see that fly buzzing around? We got a fly in the gym. That's not fun. Hopefully he stays out of the shot for this next one, because now we're talking about money. Now look it. Nobody ever became a millionaire from being a track and field coach. Being a track and field coach does not pay a lot of money. You are not going to make a full-time salary and be able to support yourself or support a family by being a high school throws coach. Okay, it's just not going to happen. And this is something that I know about quite well, because this is what people typically email me about throughout the year. Is they'll say, well, I want to be a throws coach, but they're only paying me $1,500 or $2,000 per season. That's only $3,000 or $4,000 total for the entire year. How do people do this? And the answer is that people have other jobs. Now, normally when you are coaching, you don't do it for the money, because no one's going to be making a ton of money unless you're a high-level Division I coach at a big program. You're not going to be making like 40, 50 grand a year plus benefits, plus retirement, plus medical. That does not happen unless you're at a bigger college, or unless you've kind of what's the good word I'm looking for here? Created the reputation of being one of the best in the business, because you will get paid for that. But at a small high school or a small middle school, you're not going to be making 30, 40 grand a year plus benefits, plus medical, plus insurance and dental and all that stuff. That's not going to happen. That's why most of the best throws coaches in the world, in my opinion, at least here in the U.S., the best throws coaches in the U.S., they're like working at a bank, or they're working for an insurance company or something like that. That's also why you see a lot of teachers who are coaches, because they work in the school. It fits the time, and they get extra money basically for just staying at their school a couple hours every night and coaching. And if they love coaching and they understand coaching, well, obviously it makes sense to get an extra couple $1,000 a year for working with the students that you see every day, becoming a part of their life, helping them out even more, and showing that passion for the sport. But you can't expect to get rich doing this. You can't expect to make a lot of money being a coach. So if you need to support yourself, $3,000, $4,000 a year is not going to do it. $1,500, $2,000 a season is not going to do it. So you better make sure it fits your schedule, and you better make sure that you have some other form of income coming in. Okay, now let's talk about knowledge. Maybe you want to be a track and field coach. Maybe you want to be a throws coach, but you don't know anything about it. You don't know the first thing about how to teach somebody how to throw a shot put or a discus or a javelin. What do? Well, that's not as big of an issue as you might think. A lot of people that start out as throwing coaches never threw before and never had received any type of education or coaching on how to do it. But that's why places like this exist. Again, we are doing that coaching clinic. Make sure to click that link up there to get signed up for our newsletter. You'll be the first one to hear about it. Coaching clinics happen all around the country. There are different state coaching clinics. Even if it's not in your state, it might be worth a quick drive to go to another state and learn from their coaching clinics. There are resources online like this YouTube channel, like our website, and many different other social media pages and YouTube channels that are out there. There are Facebook groups, there are Instagram pages, I guess is what you call Instagram pages, Instagram feeds, whatever you want to call it, Instagram handles. I don't know. Again, 40 years old. I don't understand any of this stuff. But there are places where you can learn and further your education or start your education. So don't feel like you're being held back, or don't feel like, oh, I can't be a throws coach. I don't know anything about it. Why do you think this whole thing started 9 years ago? Because people had questions, and I have your answers. Ask, reach out, email. We have 9 years of video underneath this channel to help you out. If you don't know the first thing about coaching, go watch some of the playlists, and at least you can kind of fake it till you make it. Learn as you're teaching your kids, and then after a year or two, you're going to know quite a lot of stuff and be able to help out quite a lot of people. All right, so we talked about time, we talked about schedule, we talked about money, we talked about education. I think the last thing that we need to talk about is just your overall attitude, and to make sure that coaching would be a good fit for you. Having a short fuse or having a temper is probably not good if you're thinking about becoming a coach. Your temperament as a human being is probably one of the most important things when you are coaching, because you have to remember you're going to be working with, when you first start out, you're going to be working with kids who A, never had a coach before, or B, had a different coach that probably said things differently than you are going to say them. So you have to keep your cool. You cannot get angry at your kids. You cannot be a jerk towards your kids. You have to be patient. You have to be nice. You have to be friendly. You need to have the right temperament to be a coach. So if you have a short fuse, if you get angry very quickly, if you get frustrated very quickly, if you get stressed out very easily, this might not be the position for you. Now, luckily, that's not a lot of people. A lot of people out there have the patience. A lot of people out there really enjoy working with kids who are this age. And I say kids because we're dealing from usually 12 years old to about 22 or 23. That's still a kid in my opinion. But you're dealing with kids that are looking to learn. You're dealing with kids whose ears and eyes are open and hopefully mouths are shut, and they are looking to learn from you. Yes, working with high school aged athletes or around that age can get a little bit difficult. They're talkative, they're excited, they're super anxious, and they're super giddy, and they just got out of school, and they're popping around, and they're talking to their friends, and they're not paying attention. And if you lose your cool, if you don't have the temperament for something like that, this might not be for you. But like I said, that's a very small amount, a small percentage of people. Most people who enjoy working with athletes, enjoy working with kids, most people who are looking to get into this position or to get into throws coaching, they actually like working with people. They like working with athletes and working with kids. So it actually is a very, very good fit for almost everybody. All right, so hopefully that answers the question. Like I said earlier, this is the time of year when a lot of people are thinking about the possibility of being a track and field coach. Maybe they've been approached by, say, the head coach or the athletic director. Maybe they're a football coach that just started practice with their kids. They've gotten to know the athletic director, they've gotten to know the head coach, and now all of a sudden they say, hey, you might be a really good throws coach. Have you ever thought about doing it before? Or maybe your kid started up and you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe I can be a throws coach for my son or my daughter's team. The answer to that probably is yes. And I hope that's what you got from this video. Being a throws coach is awesome. It's like one of the most phenomenal gigs that you will ever have in your life, is being a throws coach. You not only get to help these athletes in the weight room, and you not only get to help these athletes in the throwing circle with their form and technique, you get to help them with their life. You get to be sort of a shoulder for them to lean on if they need it. You get to give them advice on their life if they need it. They're going to turn to you and ask you questions whether you like it or not. And what you say is going to help to shape them for the rest of their life. It is a very, very fulfilling, rewarding position, but you need to make sure that it's the right position for you. So you need to make sure that it fits your time, fits your schedule, it fits your family, your financials, and your temperament. So if you have the right temperament, if you have the ability to coach, the money doesn't really make a huge deal to you. If it fits your schedule, if it fits your family schedule, and it fits your time, do it. You will love it. Even if you don't know much about it, that's why resources like this exist, okay? So popping up on the screen are a bunch of other resources that are going to help you out, as well as a place for you to subscribe to our channel. It's either going to be over there or over there. I think I'm going to put it over there today. But subscribe to the channel. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos out here underneath this channel to help explain coaching to you, to help teach you what it takes to become a coach, and I think you are really, really going to enjoy doing it. All right, so thank you guys all so much for checking out the video. Make sure to click all the stuff that's popping up here on the screen, and I will talk to you next week.